Hi everyone. Arsenal Fan Circle is the Thursday night forum. The forum is in session. Alonso up top with Darren. Thanks for
Hey
joining
guys.
us, boys. And Sam and Gary down bottom. How are you?
Great, thanks.
Hello.
Big
Yeah,
guy.
very good.
Big guy will be joining us as well. See, Steve Denham knows who the big guy is. Tony Turner will be here. He's never missed the show, right? So I expect him to be here. Damn it! I expect him to be here, Gary.
Get on here. Get over here, Tony. Let's go.
All right. Listen, as advertised, Sam has got some background information on Odegaard. Odegaard.
The good. Yeah. No, right. Yeah. So basically, Martin Odegaard, the Real Madrid player, and his family are from the same town I've been living in for many years, so they're quite well known here locally. And coincidentally, Martin's father, who was a professional football player in Norway for the local team that's in the Premier Division called Strømsgodset, he was also, after his playing days, he was a youth coach at the club, and I was also a youth coach there. We was youth coaches for different teams at the same time. So I got to know him a bit, and then all of a sudden his son came up, incredible talent, very, very good, and the rest is history. But so I've had some contact with him and with Martin's father, and he's not his agent anymore. He was his agent before he went to Real Madrid, but it's been taken over by professionals now, obviously. But still, he's part of his team and everything. And so, unfortunately, there's a lot of things he can't tell me, of course, because he is bound by agreements. He can't give certain pieces of information, of course, because he could be liable. But I can confirm that Arsenal have made a bid to loan Odegaard. He is one of six clubs he is looking at the moment. He prefer the thing that's I think is going to prevent him going to Arsenal is because he wants to be guaranteed playing time. He wants to be guaranteed starting every game, and I don't think that's going to happen at Arsenal with Smith Rowe, because I think we want to be using Smith Rowe as well, right? So I think that's why the deal probably won't come through, because he's going to want to be promised playing time, and also the deal is only till the end of the season. It's going to be the end of the season with an option to buy. The fee is not decided on. It would be a very high fee, but it's at the moment it's just a loan till the end of the season. And he wants, if he comes to Arsenal or any of the six teams he's looking at, he wants to be guaranteed playing time, because that's what he's not getting at Real Madrid at the moment. He feels he's good enough to play. He has been good enough to play, but for tactical reasons, other reasons, he's not playing at the moment for Real Madrid. I know there's some issues there with management and stuff. So that is the issue. I don't think he'll be coming to Arsenal, to be honest, because he'll want playing time. Also, another thing was he said the fee, they hadn't agreed on any fee yet. The loan fee was also not agreed on yet, but Arsenal had made a bid for him, one of six teams, so that is correct. Most likely, if I want to make a guess or an educated guess, I think he's most likely going to go back to Real Sociedad, because he likes the team, he likes the setup there, the management. He played very well there. He had a very good season with them. The last time he played with them there, he was one of the young. He was voted as one of the finalists for young player of the season in La Liga. So I think he wants to go back there probably, but we'll see. He might want to take a step up, maybe try something. But the idea is he wants regular starting first team football, which is gonna, if we do that, if we bring in Odegaard to Arsenal, it's what do we do with Smith Rowe, because then all of a sudden he becomes more of a side piece, which we don't really want, right? So that's the news I have. It's interesting. It's some bits there that other people don't have, but guys in the fan circle have it, because I'm here with you guys. I'm not really well known outside of these circles, so it's interesting, right?
Well, yeah, an exclusive. And what we've seen on the internet all over the place today, Sam, was various Arsenal fans saying that they've got Hansi's number.
No, they don't. They don't. His number, the number he uses officially for business and everything, is not listed, and they've probably got hold of someone else who has the same name because he has quite a common name over here.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, as you said, Sam, likelihood is he's going to stay with a Real Sociedad, right?
I think he's staying. I think most likely he'll stay in. He couldn't, of course, tell me what any of those 5 other clubs. He told me it's Arsenal's one of them, but he couldn't tell me what the other 5 clubs were. But I know one of them is Real Sociedad because that's one of the ones he wants to go back to. But most likely it'll be Real Sociedad or most likely Spain. I think it'll be a Spanish club because he likes La Liga. He suits the style. But yeah, if he's going to go anywhere else, if he goes to any other league, he's gonna want to be starting, every game.
So Gary, that's one of the Arsenal members of Sal. We actually don't think
The what?
right?
You're cutting out.
Yeah, is
I think
that
you have to
me?
mute. I think you have to mute Alonso while you're talking because his noise is coming through.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we actually have to dispel that rumor, Gary, about Odegaard going to Arsenal.
Dispel it?
Dispel.
Why? Why do we want to do that?
Oh, I thought you were all about being realistic.
Oh, realistic. Okay, yeah. If that's what you're talking about, then yeah. I mean, it's not. I mean, it'd be nice to have, but we just got Emil Smith-Rowe. We just got him. I mean, and the only caveat to that is that we don't know how long. We always feel like it could be. Are we going to have him for the rest of the season? Is he going to make it to the next game? That's the unknown, and that's why at the least we definitely need a solid backup to him, right? Somebody either that's going to push him or somebody that needs, will come in and understands their role, which is to come in and fill that role. And whether or not they stay on, that's another story. But at least for the rest of the season, it'd be nice to have somebody behind him that can offer maybe not the same, but the same kind of experience, if not the same kind of athleticism and energy that he brings to the game. So that's yeah. If we're going to be realistic, that's what we really need to do, right? We need that because we don't have it when he comes off the field, unless he's going to play small amounts each game, which I think will be too much for him. So yeah. I don't. Realistically, it's not, and it doesn't even sound like he wants to come here long term, right? So.
Yeah,
it's not going to be probably a good fit. It's just one of those things where it just won't be a good fit for him to come. I mean, I looked on YouTube like we're supposed to, and he looks really good. I mean, lots of the energy and stuff like that we're looking for is there. But I mean, Emil Smith-Rowe gives us what we want. So, do we need a second one? Like him? No. Do we need to take his minutes away? No. So there's. I mean, we definitely would like to, and this is where I guess back, in the beginning of the season, I think there was talk of Coutinho coming. I think, right? That was that's because we didn't have anybody to fill that role. If we had him, for example, and you had Emil Smith-Rowe kind of backing him up, and then eventually maybe taking over, then we would be fine with that, right? Because I don't know, but otherwise, I think we're fine. Unless we can find a decent backup that's not going to require too much.
If I could just say one more thing, just quickly, I think maybe because Arsenal they have made a bid to because they are interested in bringing in Odegaard. I'm thinking maybe they're maybe looking at maybe putting him more outright because he has actually played a lot outright. He moves a lot outright. He used to do that for Real Sociedad. He would start outright and then drift in. So he could play possibly that more right-sided role, maybe together with Smith-Rowe. Now, that would be a very interesting proposition if that happened. But I don't know. I just have this feeling that he's going to go somewhere where, like you say, he feels like he has more of a future that he wants. So I don't think he's that interested in coming to Arsenal to be honest.
it's got to be a move for him where he knows the league. He can adapt really quickly. He knows the Spanish league. He knows
Yeah.
Spain. He can adapt to Real Sociedad. He's been there before on a previous loan as well. So, yeah, I think we can, as I said before, dispel the rumors.
I
Yeah,
think so, yeah.
If we can't accommodate Balogun, I find it hard to believe we can accommodate, Odegaard, right?
Odegaard.
So I mean, one of them is he's been with Arsenal for a very long time, and we can't guarantee him anything, and so yeah, it's a
Although
nice
my dream. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, Gary, finish this point.
No, I was just gonna say, it's a nice to have, but I don't think that's the kind of player we wanted to bring in. Somebody who's gonna. Can he even come in and start playing day one?
Should be able to because he's good, very good.
Okay. Well, no, I mean we say that and we see that it's not always true when they come over.
Well, that's the thing. He hasn't played in England before, has he? So we don't know how he'd adapt to the Premier League. It's more physical.
Yeah.
Odegaard is not a very physical player. But so we might have those issues. That's the thing you don't really know. But I just wanted to say was one. I had a dream before this season. I've said it on different podcasts. I said I would absolutely love to have Odegaard and Haaland together because they play together on the national team. They've got telepathy. They came up together, the youth ranks together with the Norwegian youth, under 16s, under 18s, under 21s. So they play incredible together on the national team. I mean, Odegaard can pass blindly to Haaland. You know how Haaland finishes, right? So imagine them two together. And I was just saying that's my pipe dream, having them two together at Arsenal. But I don't think it's going to happen. But what's funny is these rumours now with Odegaard, which potentially, if it did happen, would be one piece of the puzzle, right? And if you have Odegaard and we start playing well and we start showing progress and start playing well as a team, then all of a sudden you have a chance to. I know, listen, guys, I know it's a small chance. I know it's a small chance, but then you have a chance of pulling Haaland because if you got Odegaard, you got a chance of pulling Haaland.
Sounds like you're on the night out on the pole or something like that.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's a real pipe dream, but I'd love it if it happened.
All right, Steve Denham, thanks for joining us. Ray,
I have a dream.
You have a good crew. You've built a good team with some right characters. Where's the big dog, Tony? Tony's late tonight. He's gonna get fined. Hi, Tony. How are you?
Hi.
All right, so he sounds okay. Let's go upstairs. Alonzo, how are you feeling? Oh, I got to unmute you. Okay. How you feeling, Alonzo?
I'm good. How you doing, Ray?
Good. All right, so listen, that's the Odegaard thing out of the way, and I want to formally welcome Darren as well. Thanks for joining us, Darren.
Sure.
All right, that's the transfer business out of the way, or the speculation. Arsenal fans all over the internet do not have Erdogan's father's number, so don't believe any of that stuff that's out there. And the assembled, thanks for joining us, the assembled. So let's get into start off with Gary. Let's get into Monday night. Seems like a long time ago now, Monday night, but 3-0 win against Newcastle. Tell me what you liked and what you didn't like, Gary.
First half, second half.
It's cold.
Is that what you wanted me to say? I mean, the whole 45 minutes of the first half and the second, 25, 30 minutes of the second half was nice. So, but no, it was definitely a tale of two halves there. The first half we came out like we usually do. I think once again we had opportunities. We definitely had opportunities to score. I've watched it all back, both halves. I usually only watch another one half, but I watched both halves, and there was just something about that first half where I felt like they had never practiced. Those 11 players hadn't practiced together because something was always off. A pass here or there, movement around towards the ball and up the field. It just nothing was there and nothing was right and nothing came off the way I guess they wanted it to. Whereas in the second half, maybe after Newcastle got tired, that things kind of opened up for us, and we punished them. But I felt like we could have scored in that first half at least one of the opportunities that we had, Definitely the one with Aubameyang where it came off the defender and just hit his foot just wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Just, I mean,
He
I think.
just couldn't get his feet sorted out, Gary.
Yeah. I think Aubameyang he had the score that he's the shot that he made in the first goal that he made. I believe he had opportunities similar to that, where he didn't have as much space all to himself out there, but he came off the same side, and if he had taken a shot sooner, who knows what would have happened? He kind of hesitated every time, and then in that second half, everything opened up, and I think the other thing that happened was a lot of those long passes were being made. That's the one thing I've heard people say is that you see a lot of runs from our forwards and nobody making the passes. And actually, I think in that second half, a lot of those passes were being made forward. I mean, the one to Aubameyang to start, that was Partey, made that pass. And then the other one, once again, was Partey once again kicking it up to, I think it was Tierney, right, who took it down. And it looked really nice. It was really nice. I think maybe they got used to playing with each other, and that's why the second half looked the way it did for that first part. But definitely tale of two halves. Yeah. I definitely like that. The second half, and hopefully that's, the problem is, will we see that 11 this weekend, or is that, a Premier League game,
I think we're going to have some time to preview the FA Cup game coming up, and it's going to be an away in the Cup and the League with Southampton. We're stepping up a level a little bit, Sam. Steve Denham, I don't want Neil Smith-Rowe to lose his place. He's done very well. I've always rated him very highly and backed him to do well and succeed at Arsenal. He's a fantastic talent. Sam, Emile Smith-Rowe, let's just talk about him before we get into the second half. He is a fantastic talent. Now 6 games in the league, 5 or 6 games in the league. I know it's a small sample size, but I think after 5 games, you kind of might know what you have.
He's a very special talent, and one we really need to take care of. He's just signed a new 5-year deal, so we're going to have him for the near future at least, which is great. Like I say, we need to play him. We need to try and build a bit more around him because he's a very special player. You see the way, you see his vision, his passing, the way he passes the ball, the way he moves off the ball. He creates space for others. He moves into the right spaces that people don't see. You just see when he plays, it's a whole different game. And the way he connects with Saka and Martinelli, he even connects well with Lacazette. He's become a very important component of our team, and this is why the whole Erdogan thing, I don't really want it to happen, to be honest, because if he comes in and he has to play football, then all of a sudden you're changing the dynamic of the team, right? The cohesion of the team. So I want Smith-Rowe to play. We've got our new number 10. Give him the number 10 shirt. We've got our new number 10. Let's build around him.
And do you know what, Sam? We're going to look at the squad a little bit later as well. It sounds like we're going to do a lot. We're going to get a lot done tonight. We're going to look at the squad, and we will know where our deficiencies are. And I think we have enough work in other areas of the field that, Neil Smith-Rowe could stay in.
See you guys. Gotta go. See you guys.
All right, Lonzo. Cheers.
Sorry. Thanks. Bye.
Cheers, Lonzo. Have a good one, mate.
See you guys.
Bye. So, Tony, Newcastle, the Newcastle game, what did you see in the first half? I thought that Arsenal started with a really, really good tempo, Tony.
Yeah, the tempo was good. It'd been a lot better if Aubameyang got that easy goal. I don't know how he missed it.
It came at him really fast. So Emile Smith-Rowe cuts inside from the right, feeds the ball to Saka. Saka phases the ball in. It comes off of the goalkeeper's foot. And Aubameyang's got to adjust really, really quickly now. Everyone's backing Aubameyang to score. You can probably see some arms go up in the air from teammates. When teammates know they're going to score, it's got to be a goal, right? Arteta is thinking it's a goal as well, Tony. But I thought, Tony, and I got to hold your feet to the fire a little bit tonight. Xhaka, I thought he really did have a good game with Partey. I thought they complemented each other. he kills the tempo, but the times when he does give the ball to Partey and understands that Partey can use the ball better than him, I thought they worked very well with each other. They were starting to understand each other's play, and it's something that we're probably going to see for the remainder of the season. Deal with it.
Hope Ceballos gets in there more. I just hate the way Zaka kills with tempo. I think we'd play a lot fast and score a lot more goals if Zaka wasn't in there. He just slows it down way too much.
Darren, what did you think of the partnership, the midfield pivot there?
I think it's really good. I like how Smith Rowe sort of creates a lot of the chances to get the ball up front. The only thing I really kicked off was the foul that Emil Smith did, and the whole dramatic from Newcastle. I mean, if you ever watched like the foul that Emily Smith Rowe did, that he got the yellow card for, he just tapped him.
Yeah.
And yet the Newcastle player he made it out as though like he probably went for him, but yeah, that.
Yeah, but this is in some ways the players are trying to protect themselves from injury. They also want the referee to know there's been and do they ever let the referee know there's been an offence at some point in time? These things happen. But Emil Smith Rowe, he's got such an economy of use of his feet, and they're starting to call him the Croydon De Bruyne.
Good name. That's a good name. I like it.
So, first half, Gary, Arsenal tried very hard. I thought the play and the energy was there in the team, but coming out in the second half, I think Mikel Arteta had, obviously delivered the team talk. And, you look at a lot of our goals and they're scored in the first 15, 20 minutes of second half games now.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, when I looked at both of them, I don't know why they look so different, though. Why the game looks so different from the first half to the second half, because they were basically getting that ball. And to some degree, I do agree that Xhaka is the one player that definitely slows it down the middle of the field, right? As far as there was. Once again, there is the opportunities where he has the defense is giving him forward motion if he wants to take it, and for no reason at all, he just stops. And those may not turn into scoring opportunities, but when we get them, we need to take advantage of what the other team gives us, and that's kind of why some will say that he definitely kills it. He definitely does move it forward sometimes, but other times, I mean, if you look when El Neni came in. He made he made something out of nothing. Just because the defender's on you doesn't mean you can't move forward. You protect the ball, you spin off away from him, and you take it upfield. Xhaka won't do that sometimes. I mean, he feels like the defense is too close, and it's like hot potato. Got to get rid of it. I mean, it was, I watched. Definitely in the second half, he did it where he just he wasn't. There was no way in the world he was planning to go forward because he was looking at. I think it was Holding in one of the plays, and he just passed it straight to him. He never even had a thought that he needed to move the ball forward, which is part of his job, right? I mean, everybody should be looking to go forward, and that's one of the things that you notice with the young guys. They're always constantly looking for the next opportunity to move forward or take a run, and they do that. And a lot of times it pays off because the defense doesn't have time to react. But if you turn back to your center back, there's no way you're going to move forward. So I think that's why people, would rather have somebody else in there. Who that could be, I'm not sure, because nobody's come up and actually done anything yet to take that spot. I think that's part of the problem. Mm-hmm. Nobody's taken it. They've had opportunities, they just haven't taken it. So
before we get into the first goal, the Aubameyang goal, I have to stop the whole podcast and ask Tony why he was late.
I was applying for my marijuana card.
All right, so I should not administer the fine for being late, right?
Nope.
I was told as Mertesacker, and I feel like Mertesacker leveling fines. Sam, first goal then. Aubameyang in the first half hits the upright. Probably should have put it away. He knows he should have scored there. And Partey Oh, we have to talk about the pre-assist, right, for Tony's benefit again. Lacazette has the pre-assist to Partey, right, Tony?
Yeah, that one actually counts. A hockey assist counts.
Anyway, Sam, I think Partey does a lot of the work here. He sidesteps a Newcastle player and feeds a really, really quick fast ball. Now, he tried this in the first half for Aubameyang as well. There was a fast ball down the left wing, and in the second half, it would work. Aubameyang's free, pretty much with one player to beat.
Yeah, it's a great setup by Partey, who showed in this game, why he's probably going to be a very good player for us. That range of passing he has, and the way he moves around midfield is just a different level. Excuse me, to what we already have. And we saw what he could do. That great pass to Aubameyang set him off, and Aubameyang actually managed to finish it. I mean, I thought we had finished. I thought we was done seeing him score goals. The amount of times he missed and messed up, and I thought that was it. We're never going to see him score a goal again, basically. But and he didn't look very, very good in the first half either. But then all of a sudden, the second half turned a bit, and like the rest of the team said, like Gary said, we had 2 halves. First half wasn't very good. Second half we looked better, and that's it. Aubameyang finished a bit more like his regular style. It was a nice finish past the goalkeeper, and I think that gave him the confidence that he needed, and he scored again later in the game as well, and he looked like he had more confidence after that game. It was a good goal. Yeah.
Sam, it looked like he had a glint in his eye, like that Fulham game, the first game of the season when he curled that ball in. He knew
he brightened up, didn't he? You saw after that goal, you could see he felt lighter, and maybe a weight was lifted, and he looked brighter and more happy. And I think maybe that's giving him some confidence, because it's a confidence thing, isn't it, with strikers? If you're missing and you're not scoring goals for games, then you lose your confidence. It becomes more difficult to do the easy stuff.
Yeah. Hey, Darren, I'll go to Darren before I go to Tony here. Darren, Stan said Emile Smith-Rowe is going to need help and guidance. He can't play all the games now. He may not get a player that's going to kill him in the way that they're going to take his position and the team away. But if we can get into positions after 60 minutes where we're 2-0 up, I think Arteta should start resting Emile Smith-Rowe, taking him off and resting him for the final 25 minutes.
I actually agree with Stan, because if we keep using him all the time, obviously with his injuries as well, we want to look after him. We want to sort of make him sort of fit, and even if just leave him out for just a first half or second half, just give him that bit breather for him to gain his sort of energy back. Because he's a good player. He's one of my favourite players, but you don't want to push him too much to the point where he's out of energy, or he sustains an injury to the point where he can't play for a long period of time. So we got to look after him. We got to look after him.
We've seen Emile Smith-Rowe create so much, a chance almost every 60 minutes. I think it is. I think he's created 10 chances in 5 games. Tony, he's got some unbelievable stats.
Yeah, to me, you have to play him 60 to 70 minutes and pull him like they usually do. Lacazette, 25 minutes left. Throw somebody else on there.
This is the one key player for us that's going to be the creative hub of our team for the next 4 or 5 months, and we need to manage his minutes for sure. Stefan, thanks for joining us as well. The second goal then, Tony, I'll stay with you. Second goal. Since we're talking about Emile Smith-Rowe, the second goal for me, Saka scores, but it's all Emile Smith-Rowe for me. He ends up on the left wing, and Aubameyang feeds it to him.
It's all his movement and all his skill that got the goal.
I love that move, Gary. Shimmy. He's on the edge of the box, just inside the box. A little bit of a shimmy. Defender goes to his left, and he's like, "Oh, I got you," and he shimmies to his left, and he's away from the defender. He's able to, even more importantly, find Saka in the middle of the box.
Yep. Yeah, he's got that pace to get by somebody right when he's got the ball, and it's what we've been looking forward to. I mean, it was great. I mean, the one before you guys were talking about Emile Smith-Rowe and kind of how we should use him. I can't see him playing back-to-back games, regardless of whether it's for 60 minutes or 70 minutes. I think he needs to recover. I mean, the reason why I say that is because when I looked at Foden at Manchester City last year was probably his coming out party to me, where you looked at him and you realize this kid's got a lot of talent and is going to be a good player. He didn't play as much as I thought he was going to play, and I think he's all the better for it now. Especially, and I don't believe he was coming in with injuries, so I think. I don't think we can play him in back-to-back games, regardless of the minutes, because I feel like he needs his body. I think needs to recover. It's not there yet, and I think it's too soon. Right? And we're talking our best players are 19, 20, and 21, I think, or 20.
Yeah.
So there's no team out there that's playing their players like this at those ages. I mean, none. I don't think any. Especially if we're considering them the future of the team, where we want to keep them as long as we can. So I feel like there's no reason to do that. Not in this season, anyways. We're not trying to win a championship or anything. And right now, I think we're just trying to rebuild, right? So, but yeah, going back to that play was nice to see him take it all the way down to the goal line and cross it back to Saka was there waiting for it. Somebody said, they've done that probably multiple times, either in practice or in games when they were younger. So it was like, it was easy. It's like riding a bike, right? You haven't done it in a while, but you get back on, and it's like, all right, I remember this. And
they know each other so well as well, Gary. They know each other from playing from age 12 upwards, and that's going to help us for a huge segment of our attacking play. Yeah. To have that connection.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I understand that they've been doing that for a very long time, but I would also feel like if I was a veteran in the league for a while, that I would also be looking for that, right? So so if
I wonder who you're talking about.
I think it's a lot. It's not just it could be any multiple players that should be looking for that opportunity to come, because I think a lot of times the players give up. They give up on the play because they don't think their teammate's going to either make the pass, or or their teammate's not going to make it past the defender, and then they give up, and then they get there and there's nobody to pass the ball to because everybody's kind of taking their time getting into position, and you got to be ready. You got to be ready.
Yeah, you either play to the side of offensively or you play to the side of defensively. And Sam, Granit Xhaka is that player that plays to the side of defensively. Well, I'm just glad we have a progressive midfielder alongside him, Partey, who I think he can control the ball off of Xhaka and use it properly. The assembled here, Sam, is saying, Xhaka wants a contract, Ray. Don't be fooled.
Yeah, this is the thing. I mean, he's getting close to the time when he wants to sign a new contract, so he's probably going to be doing a bit more, right? And also because he knows a lot of people want him out of the club and everything, and Arsenal potentially looking at maybe him being one of the players that they sell on and maybe bringing in someone else. So I think and with Partey as well being definitely a competitor now in the team, I mean, they can sort of play together, but there could be instances where maybe he just wants to go for a Partey as maybe not a double pivot, just maybe one deep lying midfielder, and that would be Partey instead of Xhaka, right? So, I think he's feeling the competition as well, and all of a sudden, then he's giving more, he's doing more, and it's just I don't know, I'm glad he's playing a bit better now, but he's just been poor for so long, That's the thing. You can't, what do they say? You can't change the spots on a whatever it is.
Leopard.
I can't remember now.
Leopard doesn't change his spots.
Leopard doesn't change his spots. I mean, we know what he's about, and the fun, like Tony says, it's true. The fundamental issue with him is he's too slow. His transition is too slow. He doesn't think quick enough, and his passing is just not. As I'd say, offensive. Attacking enough. He's always passing sideways or backwards.
Well,
looking for the safe option instead of looking forwards. And I think maybe he was forced now to look forwards with Partey with him. I think he might. Partey maybe had some influence there.
Sam, I saw a great stat by Urbino. We are actually progressing the ball quicker into the attacking areas. So not a lot quicker, but a little bit quicker. It's showing. Yeah, Tony, it's a little bit, but Gary will always say he wants to see a little
Try
improvement.
giving us sloth speed. He might go from second to third gear, but he's still a sloth, right?
It's an improvement. And Tony, to get 13 points out of 15, we kind of did what we needed to do. We had that surprise result against Chelsea because absolutely no one was backing Arsenal to beat Chelsea on the day after Christmas. Then we went and beat Brighton away from home. I think that was a big result. We had the big win at West Brom, 4-0. And then recently we just picked up 4 more points, the draw with Crystal Palace and then this win over in Newcastle. So how important was 13 points out of 15, Tony?
And it's pretty critical considering how bad we were. We were 15th. And
Remember those bad old days? We were down there in the basement, and
Arteta was in Fat Frank's shoes, ready to get fired.
rubbing shoulders with Burnley, the Burnleys of the world. Which that was a shock result today against Liverpool. Burnley beating Liverpool, and Liverpool's home record is gone now. But they had a great run so far, and it's not over for them. But Steve Denham said here we have some good players at Arsenal. We need a left back. To give Tierney a rest, he's been a great signing for not a lot of money. We talk about spending a lot of money on certain players, but we've gotten a couple of bargains here and there. And I know Stan's watching right now. He said it all balances out in the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I thought I said that.
Okay, you said it after Stan said it, maybe.
What? Wow! I thought we were friends. I didn't know Stan trumped me.
I'm on the side of honesty, Gary.
Wow!
Yeah.
You saying I'm lying?
No. I will.
You just saying your parents are on fire.
I will ship your name. We're gonna call you guys Starry. or Gan. But the third goal, Darren, describe the third goal for us. Cedric does really well with Saka in the right wing there, right corner.
Yeah, that was a pretty neat goal. I was pretty impressed with that. And again, scared the hell out of my cat again.
You've been doing that a lot this season, Darren.
I know.
A couple of lives. He's down to
How many
7
lives
lives
have you used up?
I'll have to record it sometime because you'll have to see it, then you'll see what I mean.
You've scared how many lives out of the cat? Half a dozen, right?
He's down to 7.
Yeah, man. The good thing about that series of plays that they didn't give up just because they lost the ball. Right, both of them, I think, lost the ball at one point in that sequence, and they both, went back and put pressure on the opponents, and they coughed up the ball and were able to get it. And as soon as they got the ball, they were looking to attack, and that's how they ended up with that nice pass from Saka to Cedric down the line, and he's able to skip it forward and put the goalie in a bad situation, and next thing you know, the easy goal, right? So I mean, that's what you're going to get from the youth, right? You're going to get that energy, and they're not going to give up. If that was, 6 months ago, that play pretty much goes the other way, and they're coming at us. The youth don't just give up because the ball. I mean, especially when deep in their third, they were under more pressure than we are at that point, right? So they got to be really careful about what happens. And in this case, we put too much pressure on them, and we got the benefit of it. So yeah, I mean that's what you need out of your youth, right? That energy, and you see it from some of the big teams. They don't give up just because they lose the ball, because they've got the support around them, and those two work together, and we're able to get the ball back, and it was good. It was good. I mean, that's what we wanted to do.
You put some young, energetic players in there. With young and energetic, you get hungry. Saka. And Emile Smith-Rowe, and I love the way Emile Smith-Rowe, he looks knackered after 6 minutes of running around, but he puts those socks down around the ankles and he keeps going. The Assemble said the chance Aubameyang hit the upright with Barndor and Banjo springs to mind. Yeah, I mean, it was a tough one. It came to him really quick. And a lot of it, Tony, a lot of it is here, right? It's between the ears. What's going on? If you're feeling it, you're gonna score. And he wasn't feeling it at the time. But the third goal, he could have closed his eyes and scored that third goal with Cedric Cross.
He could have did it on the first goal that he missed, but should have had a
You're,
hat trick.
you're tough. He's tough,
Should have
right,
had a hat
Gary?
trick. Come on.
He's tough.
Well, no, I mean, if you think if like I said when I was watching that, if he was in form, he would have scored at least one of the three chances that he had, all right, or at least put them on the frame. Only one of them actually was close to scoring. The other is not even close, right? I mean, one you would expect him to curl it to the far corner, didn't happen. The other one you would expect him at least to be lined up to put the ball on frame, didn't happen. And then the ricochet, that one. That's what strikers do, and that's what strikers make at $350 a week do, right? We go back to the money all the time, right? He got paid to score goals, and he's being put in positions to score goals, and he's one of the best of most
40,000
efficient.
pounds a goal.
He's one of the most
45.
efficient players but he's one of the most efficient scorers, right? When he's getting put in position to score. So if we're gonna go to stats and money, he's the one that we get the ball to, and that's the one we expect to score.
And our podcast treasurer is keeping a tally on all of them as well. He knows down there. Okay.
90,000, 45,000.
All
45,000
right,
a goal he gets.
Ray Anderson said the only time I saw a person talking about pre-assist is regards to the O word, and we say it in a joking manner. We say it in a kidding manner, right? We don't really take pre-assist seriously, but every time apparently Lacazette has a pre-assist, it's actually a stat in someone's eyes.
Well, you know what? It's always those are just balls being moved forward, and that's what we want, right?
Yeah.
We want somebody pushing the ball forward so we can attack, and when they don't, that's when we call them out for it, right? So we have a lot of negative plays where opportunities to move the ball forward aren't done. So we lose those chances. I mean, if we're gonna say we have limited chances, then we can't afford to push the ball backwards when the defense is giving us those opportunities, right?
Yeah. Miss Malini says, and this is a good point here, Emile Smith-Rowe is a great prospect for us. I just hope he will not become injury prone, and that's why we have to manage. We got to manage those minutes. All right, 19 games played in the league. We're at the halfway point. Arsenal have accrued 40.5% of that 66-point total. We're 6 points off the pace at halfway, Gary.
Yeah,
we got to go some in the second half if we're going to push up the league.
Yeah, and we got to build on what we've done so far, right? In these last 5 or 6 games,
yes,
we need to show that we learned something from them, and we should be getting those points that we didn't get in those first 10 games of the season. So we can't say it's going to be tough because everybody's got the same schedule, and we just saw what happened today.
Mm-hmm.
What happened today, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you see Burnley go in there and win a game that they're not supposed to win at all, ever, never, not today. And they went out there and they played their game, and they caught a team that's just they're not. Saying the Liverpool isn't the same team.
It's between the ears again, right? It's confidence.
Yeah, but that comes with the confidence, the trust in what the coach is talking about, right? He put them in a good situation, told them what they had to do, and when they had an opportunity to take advantage, they did. So that's what you want, right? That's what if you're that type of team, you're going to come in and you want to get that break, that opportunity. Yeah. I mean, they kept them scoreless. It wasn't like I don't think it was if Liverpool had clear open spots, right? So I think that should give us some, incentive and confidence that every game is possible, right? If we play to whatever Arteta says, and we do what we've done in the last 5 games, we have opportunities to win every one of those games.
It sounds like Stan is pretty sweet on Odegaard, but Sam had given us some information. Check out the podcast the start of the podcast. Basically, we don't think that Odegaard's going to be at Arsenal for the remainder of the season. Right, Sam?
Yeah. Just check out the beginning so don't go over it all again. But he basically he wants to start games. He wants that as a promise because that's what he's not doing at Real Madrid. And so I don't really see that happening at Arsenal if that means sacrificing Smith Rowe for most games, right? I mean, rotating is different, but when you actually want to start games and Smith Rowe then goes pretty much on the bench all the time, that's not exactly what we want, is it? But then I said, on the other hand, maybe Arteta's looking at maybe playing him further out right, which he has done for Real Sociedad. He has drifted out right, and then he comes into the middle, so like an inside, what do you call it, forward, maybe an inverted winger. So, maybe he's thinking of that, but I don't think it's happening. I think it's be more realistic. He goes back to Real Sociedad where he's most comfortable.
If he does that, who gets bumped?
Well, that on the right, you're going to then Saka maybe go. That's it. Saka maybe. What do you do with Saka, right? Because Saka's got that right hand roll at the moment.
Well, that's right. Yeah, I mean, when you said to the right, I mean, or it doesn't. Right now, we have 5 players that we could
exactly.
play
When you put Ødegaard,
right?
if Ødegaard says, "Listen, if I'm going to come to you, I want to play every game," then you'd have to drop Smith Rowe or drop Saka every game. And that's not what's working for us at the moment, is it? We've got something working. Why do we want to upset that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. We have found the balance. I want to ask you, let's get this, Cheddars, and thanks for joining us, Cheddars. Sam, would you take Memphis Depay? He's a free agent in the summer.
I tell you what, I haven't really seen a lot of him lately, but I saw him a couple of seasons ago, and he looked pretty good. I mean, he had a lot of speed, a lot of skill, some decent, passing. I thought he looked like a pretty good player to me. That was a couple of seasons ago, so I can't really say what he's like at the moment. Maybe there is a reason. I mean, for me, it's like if there's smoke, there's fire, right? So if he's on a free, there's got to be a reason. There's something's not right, I think.
Hey, Gal. Hi, thanks for joining us as well.
Yeah, Gal, big Gal for Gal TV. Nice to see him.
And also, how much? We don't have a lot of money for him right now. I think he's probably making a decent amount of money right now, and I can't see us being able to want to spend that much money on somebody who's not long term for us.
So yeah, exactly. Sam, halfway stage. Do you like where Arsenal is at right now? I know we probably took a long part of the season, at least the middle part of our 19 games to figure out where we're going. We probably lost some ground, but do you think we could be charging a little bit in the second half of the season?
What I do like is I like our trajectory. I think our trajectory is going the right way. The arrow's going up, which is the way we want to see it. Also, we're extremely lucky where this season is a very strange season in terms of all the other teams are dropping points. You've got maybe a clear top 3 now. I would say maybe even a top 4, but the rest below that top 4 they're dropping points all over the place. And I think we could actually, with a decent run of games, we could without losing. We can't lose many games. We can't, not many games at all, of course, but we have to win games. If we win games, not draw, not lose, I think we could get ourselves up into a Europa League position. Maybe that level. I think so. Our trajectory is going the right way. We're playing better now with these kids. With this combination of players we're using now with that front 3 and with Partey coming in now, I think it's only going to help us. I can see us, moving up the table. I can see us moving up the table. We're still going to have some difficult games, of course. We're probably still going to have a few losses, but everyone around us is losing games too, right? So It gives us the opportunity to keep moving up.
Yeah, Darren, I'll ask you the same question. What have you seen in the first half of the season, and have you got reason to be hopeful now?
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously the first season we had a bit of a bad run, but I think that's down to the squad choice. Obviously using just the senior players, not enough of the younger players. But now we're seeing more of what the young players can do. It sounds like we've got more of a chance now in the second half of the season to build up. And obviously seeing Liverpool playing badly at the minute, and obviously sort of how the Premier League is changing so much at the minute. I think we have got a good chance if we keep using the young players. Obviously, looking after them at the same time, so they're not prone to injury. I do think we got a good chance in the second half of the season, definitely.
Yeah, and what we do need, Gary, is we need competition now. I'm going to call this stage 3 of the rebuild.
I don't get to answer about the first half.
You can tie it in. You're a professional. You can weave it all back in. Come on.
All right, go ahead.
Work for it. All right. So, did you hear me?
No, I guess I did not. Sorry. Can you repeat the question again?
What did I actually say?
I think I interrupted you, so I threw you off.
Yeah, I was in the flow. It's all good. Can we? What do you see about this season, and can we sort of keep going? Can we keep momentum going, Gary?
Oh no, definitely. I mean, I think we can. I think the question now is which set of games are are most important to us right now? Is it the Premier League? Is it the European Cup or the FA Cup? Because that's probably going to control how we set up our team. Because at least right now we know we've got a good 11 that we can play, but they can't play every game. We know that there'll be 2 or 3 players missing, at least 2 or 3 players missing when they play. I mean, if Aubameyang comes back and he is the player that we've had, the last couple of seasons where he can just play every game, then that'll be good because that would mean that we're not going to lose much when he's in the game. Right now, we've seen him play good the last couple of the last game, but can we see that consistently? That's going to be the thing because, I mean, there's no rush to have Martinelli and him go back and forth, right? So, if Aubameyang's able to do what he's done before, then I think that's what we want. And then Martinelli can come in and, give breaks when we need it and we don't lose much. So I feel like at least at the front, with the front, I'd like to say we have 5 players that can fit those 4 spots right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we start going to our bench, essentially, that's when we're going to see a big dip because who's that 6th player that we can use to fill one of those 4 spots when we need to bring, maybe 1 or 2 players out the game? That's going to be telling. And, do we have that player there or one of them, one of those bench players actually going to show up and play better than they have in the past now that they've seen how we play? That might be the other thing, right?
That's kind of what I was saying as well before I lost my train there. Competition. Are we going to have that competition within the team now?
Well, I think so. I mean, we've talked about the Eddies, the Nelsons, and the Willicks needing opportunities to come in and play and need to show what they can do. Now's the time, right? Now's the time. Like
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you had it. Go ahead. Don't you?
No, I was just going to say, if I was a seasoned professional, I've got quite a few seasons behind me in the Premier League, and
you are a seasoned professional already, Sam.
And I'm not talking about being one of the top players in the league, but you're a seasoned professional. You're a regular first team starter, right? And you come in, and I'm using Willian as an example now, right? And you come into Arsenal and you've been given all those games and you don't do anything. You just look like you can't be bothered, right? Then you've got a kid who comes in. Well, not comes in, but he's been there. But you see, all of a sudden, this kid who's playing better and better takes over your spot. And so Saka is taking over that right-hand spot for Willian now. Now, I'm thinking, for a seasoned professional, he should up his game, right? You should say, right, I'm not letting a kid take my spot. I want this spot. If he's a professional who is hungry for the game, who wants to play football, that is the type of attitude and mentality he should have, right? And that's not, you just know that, just know that's not happening with William, right? And that's what's worrying because you see Saka come in, and then when William gets a chance, it's like, oh, I'm not really bothered.
What we have right now,
mentality,
Yeah, what we have right now, Sam, is we have a very expensive placeholder. He's a placeholder. William is going to play.
We were talking about these seasoned professionals. Sorry, let me just finish my point. We were talking about these seasoned professionals we have, the senior players, who should be starting games and being supplemented or, helped by the younger players. But now we've got the opposite situation. We've got the younger players who are now the stars, who are now, the foundation of our play, our form, and the senior players are the they're coming in now to relieve them now and again so they don't get worn out. And then when they come in and get a chance, it's like, I'm not really bothered. I can just just sit the next game out again. It's that it's topsy turvy, isn't it? It's the other way around than what it should be.
Yeah, hold on. We have a super chat here from a superhero, Stan the Man, 68. We have to read out all super chats. You know that, Sam, right?
Yeah.
The superhero chat, Gary.
Okay, you said it's. Okay,
so we're obligated to read this comment out. It's from a superhero. The icon, the avatar says he's a superhero here. My missus is in the other room on a Zoom call, launching her new skincare products with a load of birds. I'm half tempted to run in there, Starker. So let's take a vote. I vote that you do that, Stan.
Seconded. Come on, Gary.
I thought it was a different type of show. What is going on? Last week we had one. I'm just not having good luck on these shows. I got, I got to host a show this weekend or Monday, and it went sideways pretty quickly. And now you got Stan.
Willie Copter.
You hosted the show, Gary?
Yes, it was a last minute thing on Mr. Arsenal podcast.
All right, now I know you're up to the job. You're going to get more work.
Man. So yeah,
how'd you do?
I think I failed.
Ask him about Willie Copters.
He tried to keep a bunch of loonies in place, and he did pretty well until the last 20, 30 minutes or so. We sort of lost it a bit, but it was good fun.
Yeah.
All right, Gary, you might get the gig one day.
Cool.
Put my feet up.
You give a keys to Newcastle, Gary.
Where were we anyway? I think we'll just finish up on the Newcastle game, and a good result. Take 5 games in unison, 13 points from 15. Not a bad haul at all, and we've got some difficult games coming up. Let's jump into the squad real quickly, and we're going to go through the squad, and we're going to talk about possible deficiencies in our squad. First one up will be goalkeepers. We have a pretty decent number 1 choice, Gary, in Bernd Leno.
Yeah, that's
but we don't have a second option really that we could call.
We got a number 2 for a number 2.
Okay, yes, what you said, but the first part, no.
Yeah.
As a whole, but we don't have a number 2 right now, which is scary. Now it's scary because it's just more of it's just your risk. It's just a risk issue right now. But yeah, only Arsenal can have 2 starting goalkeepers, and 6 months into the season, they only have one goalie. That's it. I don't even want to count Runeson as a goalkeeper right now. I mean, it'd be scary to put him into a game right now, especially if Leno went down like he did, for example, like he went down in the Brighton game. Imagine Runeson coming in to kind of help finish that game off. That would be kind of scary because the team would know. I mean, that's the problem. A team would know that they have they could just put the ball on goal and it might just go in, right? So Leno makes a lot of stops, and he always has. So So I mean, I think we need a number 2 goalie, a backup goalie, whatever you call it.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, Arsenal, they could have got one a long time ago, and they didn't. They should have got one before the season started.
I think it is a priority in this window, and I think we have 9-10 days left, Sam, to do something about it.
Yeah, I think we'll see a lone goalkeeper come in. We have to, because Runeson is just not good enough as backup, and obviously that youngster is not. We can't really rely on him to come in either, right? So, we have to. It's a priority. I'm lucky enough with the goalkeeper. I don't think it's that difficult to get hold of one on loan. It's just a matter of finding someone who's at decent enough level that you're not going to piss your pants when they go in goal. But yeah, I mean, there's loads of backup goalkeepers everywhere, right? We just need one of them that's at a decent level. Hopefully we can bring them in.
I'm going to keep it rolling. Tony and Darren want to roll back to the goalkeeper and say they can as well. But Tony, let's. What position across the defense do you want to take next?
Right back.
Okay, your specialist topic. This I feel like Morten Mortensen, wasn't it? Mastermind, right?
Yep.
Your specialist topic is the right back position. So, how you think we're pretty well covered at right back? I mean, we have to bear in mind as well. This is Arsenal. We're not going to get too many players in, so this is to get to the summertime. And I think, Tony, I think we have Hector Bellerin, we have Cedric, and we have possibly Ainsley Maitland-Niles. But let's go with the first two. I think we're pretty well covered in depth there.
I still think Bellerin just isn't good enough. He's losing his speed.
Yeah, but knowing what the club will have to do in this window, or can possibly do you think they're going to do anything at right back?
Nope.
Nope.
I don't think they'll do anything at left back either, which is more of a necessity right now.
All right, Darren, you take left back. We have Kieran Tierney, who is our bona fide number one left back, just like the number 2 shirt behind you, but on the opposite side, obviously. You know, Tierney's going to be a legend, just like Lee Dixon.
Yeah, he's the one I sort of will always watch, and I'll always back him up because I think he does a lot for the club. He does a lot, not just as a left back, but as I think he'll be more of a captain. If I'm going to be honest, I think he's got that potential. You know, he gets the crosses in. You know, he'll go from one end to the other, and he'll cross it in. He's done it. You know, we've seen the goal he did. You know, he's passionate. He shows enthusiasm in playing, and I think that kind of lacks a little bit in some of the players that we've got in a minute.
Gary, Kieran Tierney, captain in waiting. It can't be long, really, until Arteta doesn't make him captain, really. Maybe even the summertime.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be, yeah, at the least he should be the assistant, you know, or the second or whatever they call it, second in command. Right. So I think at the least that should happen. I mean, I think a lot of people don't believe Aubameyang should just lose it, even though he was given it. You know, I think that, you know, just I kind of get that to some degree. But if the team's winning, then there's no reason to change anything right now. I think everybody's okay with the structure, but I think some players definitely require recognition, and you know, Kieran Tierney is one of them for sure. Especially, I mean, I think as you know, I think we may have talked about it, or I've heard it on, you know, talked about it on other pods, that Tierney's a player that probably could stay with Arsenal until he's done, if we let him, right? If we make it easy for him. So there's no reason to feel like he's going to leave us for, you know, better pastures somewhere else. Yeah, man. The not having anybody behind him, not necessarily to push him, but just so that he can take a rest.
Yeah.
You know, I think is it would be nice. I think most teams would have that. I mean,
would that be a priority, Gary? We want to get a backup goalkeeper and maybe a lone left back option for Kieran Tierney.
I think, wow, because so there's essentially, to me, anyways, there are 3 positions that it'd be nice to fill.
Let's say you can fill 2.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we could only do 2 anyways. So we definitely need a number 2 goalkeeper, and then it's between basically who rests Emile Smith-Rowe or who rests Tierney. You know, Tierney when he you know, if he needs it. Those are the 2 positions right now that I feel we need to you know, one of those 2 we need to fill. I think if Willian does, you know, wake up, you know, if he's a seasoned veteran and he's looking at this team and he's seeing the youngsters come out and do certain things, and that's all we're asking, you know, and he can do that, do that to us, you know, give that kind of performance for a couple of games. That would be nice. Tierney is probably the one we just don't have anybody right now that could, you know, we barely have a second wing, you know, back on either side of the field right now. I mean, I guess you know, Bellerin and Cedric right now probably are fine on the right, but Maitland-Niles hasn't shown that he can do it on either side of the field right now, especially on that back line. So, to me, I guess I would think Tierney would probably be the one, you know, that's to the left the left back is probably one I think we need to do.
Yeah. So Sam, let's if you got any points to make about the left back or goalkeeper or right back, well, we can keep it moving. We'll look
I'll
at the
keep it
left
moving. Yeah.
left central defense. We have two great players. I think that's probably the position we have the most strength in. Gabriel and Pablo Murray.
Yeah, two very solid centre backs, aren't they? Gabriel has been a sensation, hasn't he? Revelation, and Murray has looked pretty good as well. Looked pretty solid. Unfortunately, he's injured again at the moment. Hopefully, he'll be back again soon. But yeah, he's looking good. So yeah, as you say, I think we're okay there. And if you think about the two centre back positions as being like interchangeable, you know, with I mean, we've got so many centre backs, haven't we? I mean, that's a place where that's a position where we've got too many people at the moment. So, you know, there's more than enough depth there in the centre back position. Yeah. Not all of it necessarily as good, but you know, at least there is cover there with people who can play in that position.
I think, Sam, Arsenal fans forget only a couple of years ago we had Colonel Mustard and Socrates. We had those two players as our mainstays in defense.
Yeah.
And we've definitely upgraded in the 2 seasons since.
I'd actually love to see just to see how it works. Gabriel and Mari play together. Yeah. Because I don't believe this whole, you know, this whole you got to have a left-footed player on the left side, right-footed player on the right side.
No, it's staying here. You say that.
You don't.
If you have two players that are able to play, two good players, they can get through a game. They can help.
I'd just love to see how those two. I'd love to see how those two play together because they seem. I would think they have a good understanding of the game and both being very solid. I'll just like to see it just to try it, and okay, if it doesn't work, then
Yeah, I'm all for it as well. I want to see a game like that. Let's tackle Rohan's question here. Any possibility of us making a push for UEFA Champions League? If no, what's lacking? I'm optimistic, but I'm an optimistic gooner, but I don't think we can get top 4 this season. Don't think. The best we could probably do would be 6th. I think we're going to finish somewhere between 6th and 9th, let's say. Tony?
Where are we finishing?
Can we get UEFA Champions League? And what's lacking if we can't get it?
Midfield's lacking. We still need somebody to help push the ball up from the back. Hardy can do the passes, but we need somebody to push.
Do we need another striker? If we're going to get UEFA Champions League, do we need another striker?
I don't think we need one. I think Lacazette and Obama.
Okay. Where do you think we'll finish, Tony?
Probably 6th, 5th or 6th.
Darren?
I'm going to be very optimistic. I'm going to go for 4.
You're going to go for 4th. Liverpool, as Dan said earlier, Gary, Liverpool are 1 win, 1 loss. We're 1 more win away from Liverpool.
Yeah,
that's crazy, right?
That's the part about the season that if you go on a run, you can jump up pretty quickly. So this might be the time if we're going to make that run for a top 4 spot that we do it now before we go and play some of the bigger teams. I mean, outside of Manchester United, but we've got a lot of games that we should be able to win if we think we're top 4 quality. I mean, we're lacking depth. And that's the problem. So no matter what, if we were able to pick up depth that can play now, that's good. But I don't know there's any such thing out there that we need at least 2 to 3 players on the field depth-wise to get a top 4 spot, I believe. And we're not. I don't think we have the money to barely buy one.
We got the money. We just refuse to spend it.
You what?
So we got the money. We just refuse to spend any of it.
Oh, I don't think we're allowed to spend that money, right? I mean, Stan's got enough money if he really wanted to, but I mean, who could we bring in right now that would play? I mean, you know, and they would have to,
So, if we don't make another addition, Gary, where will we finish in the league? And second part of the question is, what's lacking for us to get top 4 right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think fifth is definitely in our grasp. What's lacking? It would be a partner for Partey. I think is what I think is missing, because that would help us out a little bit more.
Okay.
And we are. The risk is that we've got just one. Our depth is one for a lot of our, the key
Yeah,
positions right now.
We've gone through only 4 positions, I think, so far. 2 of them need depth: the goalkeeper and left back. Sam, I want to get you in on the same question. Where do you think we're going to finish this season, Sam? Best case, worst case?
Best case scenario, fifth. Worst case scenario, probably about where we are now. But I think we're going to push up further up the table. We'll end up somewhere between fifth and ninth.
And
I just don't
think we need?
I just don't see us. You see the points; those top 4 are ahead of us. I just don't see us managing to get make up those points on all of those teams. I just don't see it happening. But anyway, what would we need to make that push? We definitely need probably someone in midfield. It's probably another attacking midfielder to complement with Smith Rowe, give us more options, and we would probably definitely need another midfielder. I agree with Tony, who could make things move faster in transition. We've got to move faster, and the attack has to move faster if we're going to break down sides. So.
Just place Xhaka on ×4, right? Just speed him up.
Yeah, just fast forward him basically.
If anyone gets into any bother with legal stuff, Rohan Verdi is your guy. I better call in Rohan. So Stan has his number. Hit up Stan.
Yeah, Stan, don't call him on me, please.
I'll keep with you, Sam. The right central defense. Rob Holding's been doing a kind of a decent job for us. Sorry, he's not 55 million, right?
I think Rob Holding is a very underrated centre back. He's not world class. He's not near world class, but he's underrated. He's very good at heading the ball. He's very good at positioning himself. He's strong. You saw what he did when we played Liverpool, not last, but I think it was the time before. He just made a mess out of Mane. I mean, Mane just dropped him like a fly, basically. He's strong, and he have some games where he's not quite at it, but for the whole, I think he's good. And you got to remember, he has a tough time with the headless chicken to the right of him as well. So it's not easy when you're constantly trying to look for him and what the hell's he doing. It's like, oh, this is supposed to be a defender tomorrow. Right? Oh no, he's up talking to some bird up in the crowd up there or something. Anyway, so that's what it's like working with the headless chicken. But so. It makes things difficult, but yeah, you got him, and you've got who we got now? Because I think it's only Colonel Mustard, isn't it? Because Socrates is gone. Chambers, we've got Chambers. He's back available, isn't he? He's supposed to be available. He was on the bench, wasn't he, last time? So yeah, so you got him and Chambers. I'd like to see what Chambers can do, because Chambers was quite decent before he had all his injury problems. I just don't think Chambers is quite up to it now, because he's just really out of form. I mean, match form. I think you'd have to play a few games to get back into it, but he's still decent backup. I think. Listen, like I said, the centre backs are not our issue. We don't need to worry with the centre backs at the moment.
I mean, if we're looking at desperate depth, it's left back position, it's the goalkeeper position, and our right back and our right central defenders. We will need to upgrade on our right central defender, whether it's going to be Saliba in the long run or not. We can get through to the summer. I think a lot of our work is going to be done in the summer, and it's not going to be done in this window. If we can move a couple of other players on, then that'll be really good. Tony, let's jump in the midfield. I know you're not going to mention Granit Xhaka. Let's we got to pick depth for midfield. Really have Partey and Granit Xhaka, Ceballos, Elneny, Willock.
I kind of miss Willock, but he's one that can kind of push the ball forward, but he still needs to gain some weight and muscle. Just ain't made for the Premier League yet. Like to me, I'd be playing Ceballos with Party.
Yeah, it makes more sense. Ceballos, he's better in transition, isn't he? He can move the ball quicker. I think we got to trust. We don't need those two deep lying. We don't need to. We've got to be able to trust Partey to be able to do his job, and not have to have a deep lying Xhaka next to him. I just think we lose too much, of that forward moving ability with Xhaka there. But yeah, I mean, Ceballos I think is a good option. Willock for me, he's not really doing it. He could, his potential is there, but he's just not doing it. He loses the ball too much. He's got heart. He's got heart. You can't take that away from him, but he's just not performing well enough to really be involved that much, to be honest. I think he unfortunately is going to be one of the youngsters we're probably going to have to let go, to be brutally honest.
Or give him a loan.
Maybe a loan.
The thing about it is, Gary, the thing about the loan thing is we've seen it with Emile Smith-Rowe, and it's kind of worked out perfectly for him. I don't think he'd be the player that he is today if he hadn't gone to Germany, if he hadn't gone to Huddersfield to get that experience.
Oh, exactly. That's helped him a lot. Yeah.
And maybe it's something we need to do with Willock next season.
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess the question then is Willock part of the future?
Exactly. It's getting too late for him now.
If they're part of the future, then that's why they go on loan, because you see something there. I mean, I thought we saw some bits and pieces from him last season, but if they were going to play him the way he is right now, and I don't know, I should not have done it, but I was looking at the chat room, and Taib and Stan. I don't know if I could have you. I don't think I could host you, because you guys would.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to. No.
Oh, don't forget, Gary is a moderator as well.
Yeah, so I'm seeing what's going on. I'm like, oh my.
What about the naughty step? What's going on the naughty step?
Yes, yeah. So, but no, I guess we'll get into it. But you've got your Willock, Nelson, and Eddie, and it's going to be the same question for all three of them. Are they all part of the future plans for Arteta, right? And if they're not, then a loan, because I think they all three need loans if they're going to stay, if they're part of the future right now, based on what we've seen from the other younger players. I mean, think about it. Like I've always said this, and I'll keep saying it. We've got 3 players under 20 that are essentially could be part of our starting lineup. That's not the makeup of most teams. None of the top teams that we want to be, the top 4s in the leagues, none of them do that, because it takes time, right? It takes time to get to where you want to be. So I feel like we've got a lot of young players and they can't play. 1, they're not ready, and 3, we've already got 3 that are. So that might be more. I think for me that's a good number.
When you look at that generation that have grown up together at Arsenal, right? You're talking about that group of players who came up through the ranks together. We're talking Smith-Rowe, Saka, Willock, Nketiah, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, and who's the last guy I'm thinking about? Reece Nelson, right? So those kids came up together, and now you're seeing the guys who have made the grade, right? Who are starting games, who really show they make an impact. And, so that's Saka, that's Smith-Rowe, that's Saka, Smith-Rowe make an impact. And also we've had, we can see that Maitland-Niles can also help us in certain positions. I think he's good enough to keep hold of, because he can do a job in midfield, and he can also do a job at right back, I think, if we actually needed him there. So he's also at that par level where we could keep him. But when you look at it like, Reece Nelson, Willock, you're sort of thinking that, and even Nketiah, you got to play a very specific way to cater for him. He's a poacher. You got to get the ball into the box to him for him to be effective. And, it's just not really our style of play. And we like a player who can link up more with midfield. So Nketiah's not really finding his level at Arsenal either, to be honest. I think, we're getting to a stage now, as Gary correctly points out, we have to now look, be a bit more honest with ourselves with these younger players now. Say, are they the future of Arsenal, or do we have to move them on because they're not really giving us what they want? Yeah, they can be squad players, but then when they come in, they're not pushing us on, right? When they come in, they're not really doing it. And with Willock, I think we got a bit gassed with him in the Europa League because he had those good performances in the Europa League against very mediocre opposition. And then when we see him given the chance in the Premier League, which he has been given, he's been given some chances. He's not really doing that well. He's been giving the ball away too much, some sloppy play.
Yeah.
So he's not really pushing where he needs to be. So those kids now, I think we're getting to that time where we need to start culling. We need to either sell them and to generate some money. Maybe give the likes of Willock, maybe give him a loan for one season. But then, like Gary says, what is the end goal of that? You're loaning him away for one season somewhere where he's going to get regular football. Then do you think he's going to be good enough, or he can come into our first team when he comes back?
That's what happened with Emile Smith-Rowe. Now maybe
but Smith-Rowe was at a higher level. Smith-Rowe was at a higher level. Even when he went on loan, he was at a higher level.
You would say, Sam, that Willock and Smith-Rowe performed similarly well in the Europa League just this past autumn, right? And they've diverged a little bit now in the league.
If you're talking about in terms of production, yes. But if you're talking about in terms of actually how they played, you could see Smith-Rowe is on a different level. The way he moves, the decisions he makes. He's on a different level.
I think also something that could also be in the players' heads is that they're pressing too much because, like you said, they're giving the ball away a lot easier. They're probably rushing because they're probably thinking too much because I think they realize where they are. And once again, it's one of those, like I said, it's like that Saka effect. If you were ahead of Saka in the lineup a couple of years ago, and now he's coming past you, and now he's passing senior players on the team. It puts a lot of pressure on you as a player, and you come in, you're trying to do. I mean, when you say like Willock's trying to do a lot, and he's just messing up because he's thinking.
We see the same. We see the same with Reece Nelson as well. I mean, he does a lot of good things, a lot of good movements. He'll have some decent passing, but then as soon as he gets into that final third, when he has to do something important, like lay off an important pass, a key pass, or shoot and try and score a goal, he just doesn't do it. He's making the wrong decisions. He gets sloppy in the final third. This is where Reece Nelson also, I think, has sort of got to his level now where he needs to move on, I think. I think Reece Nelson, if I'm brutally honest, talking about our squad, I think Willock, Reece Nelson, and Nketiah, they have to be moved on. I think we have to generate money from them now, sell them on, say, sorry, you've been great talents. We've enjoyed seeing you, but now, sorry, you're not part of our future.
I think those decisions will be made at summertime, Sam.
Yeah. And then Maitland-Niles, he's touch and go. I think I can see why we would let him go because he's more probably not really going to be a first team player going forward. I mean, in terms of what we really want, but he's so versatile, right? That's what makes him so important to us at the moment. His versatility. He can play anywhere. So not many clubs have that, like a Henderson or one of those types of players who can just play everywhere.
I want to take a second here. If you're enjoying the stream, do what Mr. Linus said and what Steven said. Hit the likes, please, up to 14. And if we hit 20 tonight, Tony will sing a song.
I thought you were supposed to sing a song.
I'm the
host. Ray, you're slipping. You're slipping, Ray.
Ray promised me a song when I came back, and I haven't got it yet.
Oh, Ray.
Let's keep talking, guys.
Yeah.
All right. So what did we cover? We covered most of the forwards. Is there any other positions in the midfield or the forwards that were kind of light in? We have a problem in the right wing area. Not so much a problem now. We have Saka playing there. We've got two very expensive pieces in Willian and Pepe. They're going to be backup, but they're not going to be great backup. And this is what we're going to have to do probably on Saturday. We're going to have to insert some of those players in there. So who wants to go first about all of that and Saturday?
Yeah, well, I think that on the right-hand side, if that's not Saka, then one of those two players that goes in that could go in there needs to, feel like they got a little pressure on them and that they're going to play, for a spot because that's where we're at, and that will answer the question of whether or not they're long for Arsenal, right? I mean,
Mhm.
I think right now everybody's happy wouldn't bat an eye if Willian and Pepe weren't on the team next year. I mean, right now, based on the way they're playing right now, so you would like to think
As
one
long
of
as
those
we got
two.
adequate replacements for them, right?
Well, yeah, we're not getting anything out of them now. So what would be the
Hmm.
difference if we bring in, even a young kid? It wouldn't be
Well, we
much of a
don't
difference.
want to make the same mistake. We don't want to bring someone else in and they perform equally or worse than Pepe or William.
Yeah,
You
well, that also I think that's where maybe you have a youth that you can bring in. But I mean, we don't. Do we want to go to push somebody too soon? We don't want to do that either. But we tried twice and we failed, right? And Saka has been sitting there the whole time, right? Saka's been there the whole time. We brought Pepe in, and then we brought Willian in, and they both have flopped. And Saka's had to move from the left to the right to fill a spot, right?
Mhm.
So somebody's not doing their job, and it's not the players on the field anymore,
No.
right?
And
It's the
um,
evaluators, the
it-
recruitment.
since we're at this point, I'm going to go around on everybody. But Gary, give me your player of the year so far for Arsenal across the whole half season.
You said everybody but Gary.
No,
Starting with Gary.
already with
Well,
Gary.
I'm thinking you're not liking me right now, so I
It's
thought
that Irish accent. It's not easy, you know.
I thought you said everybody but Gary. I was like, wow, I don't even get to say so the player of the year right now. Wow.
Yeah, who's your leading contenders or contender?
Wow. Well, I mean, it's to me. I guess it's gonna have to be Saka. Right now, Saka. I mean, he's been playing pretty much where he's been doing a good job the whole season. But he's been all by himself. It seemed right. Aubameyang wasn't there. Lacazette wasn't playing. Martinelli and the Melsworth Rowe weren't even on the field. And since he's got some added pieces around him, he's been able to look. He's doing the same thing he's been doing all along, right? So I think he's been able to maintain and been consistent there. So I feel like Saka right now is a player of the year for us right now.
Yeah, let me know in the comments, people, as well. Stan has said Tierney, and now he's going to go. Now you're changing your mind. You're flip flopping, Stan. Saka is also a good shout. Listen, I agree with Gary here. Saka is a generational talent. I think. I thought we would see a drop off this season, but it hasn't happened. He's just gotten better, Sam. But what's your choice? Don't let me influence you at all.
I've got three. I've been thinking a little bit about it today, and I think I've got three choices.
You can't pick three.
I know.
No, but I'm gonna pick one. I'm gonna tell you one, but I just want to tell you who the three candidates are for me.
Give it to us in
So-
reverse order,
Can
Sam.
I do that? I didn't know I could do this. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Oh, we got
Anyways.
35 more minutes, right, Tony?
I'll go quickly. My three candidates are Tierney, Saka, and Gabriel. And I'm picking Gabriel because for me, Tierney is Tierney has been fantastic. Don't get me wrong, very key player for us. But he's kind of doing what we want him to do, right? Same with Saka, key player, fantastic. He can play on the right now, doing, key component of our attack. But he's kind of doing what we thought he would do, even though he's doing it brilliantly. But Gabriel, to come in like that and just completely, for me, solidify our defence. Our defence was a mess. And Gabriel comes in. This is my opinion. Gabriel comes in and our defence is not a mess anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he really solidified that defence. In the first 6-7 games in a row, he got man of the match and he looked like a new...
Scored on his debut.
He scored on his
Scored on
debut.
his
It was
debut.
amazing on his debut. And he kept that going for 6-7 games. Solidified our defence. Kept us in games. Key tackles all over the place. Absolutely rock solid. Hardly one mistake in all of those games. And the guy was immense. And, and to do that at his age and come in from a different league like that and come in straight away into the Arsenal defence and just solidify like that, for me, that is more, in my personal opinion, that is a more impressive performance and achievement than what those other players have done. So for me, so far, it has to be Gabriel.
Now he can't get on the field.
Gabriel.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird,
I'm okay with that because we don't have to rush him back in because of Pablo Mari.
Well, the other guys were playing well, right? So then they're playing well. You don't just change that. So I can understand that, but for me, he's been immense.
And the Assembled who always gives me a straight answer here on podcasts. I love that from the Assembled. My player of the year so far is Willian or Xhaka or Bellerin because I've realized that nonsense is important in any team. Without them, you'd have nothing to talk about. Good stuff from the Assembled. I want to get downstairs to Darren here. Darren, since we're giving 3 candidates now, give us your in reverse order.
Okay, so in third place, I'm going to go for Saka. Just because he has that fast pace, he can get the ball into the box quicker. In second, it's going to be Tierney, just because he's passionate and he plays with a lot of, sort of
heart, desire, energy.
And then for my top one has to be Smith Rowe, just because he's young, he's fresh, he's being creative in what we need, and so.
Yeah, and even in 5 games, he has shown what he can do for us in the league. Tony.
For me, it's Saka in third place. He's versatile. He can play anywhere. To me, it's Tierney in second. He shows the heart and passion that we need. He needs the captain's armband. He should get it this season instead of waiting until the summer or whenever. And Willian for first place. Now, Gabriel definitely, to me, is the player of the season. So
Gabriel, yeah.
He's agreeing with me. That's interesting.
We had like 3 different people here: Gabriel, Saka, and Emile Smith Rowe, right?
Yeah, Gabriel has like 6 Don Juans or something like that.
Yeah. All right. So now that was the best of the best. Now let's talk about the worst of the worst from Stan here. Darren, you start off. Who's been the biggest disappointment for us so far this season?
For me, it's going to be Willian, because there's been so much expectations with him, and he's just.
And he went from that first game. Darren, he played really, really well against Fulham. And it's just been downhill ever since.
Yeah, definitely. It's just because there's been so much expectations from him. It's
Tony?
just.
Yeah, go ahead, Darren.
That's it.
Tony?
To me, it's 1A and 1B with Willian and Pepe. Both of them just really disappointing.
All right. I mean, that's fair. I try to stick up for Pepe here, but that's fair. I'll take it. Sam?
Yeah, well, it was Pepe, and then Willian sort of was even worse because I expected even more from him. Coming from Chelsea, Premier League proven, all of this. I was expecting him, and after that first game, when he played a good game, I thought, wow, we're actually going to have a decent player here, and he's just completely gone off a cliff. He just hasn't done anything. And huge disappointment, absolutely.
Yeah. And Gary, who are you most disappointed with this season so far?
I mean, I guess I always had Willian as somebody who came in just to support us, not really to come in and make that big a significant change. I thought that I would have seen a lot from Pepe this year after last year, and now he's potentially like the third, right wing for us right now, right? I mean, it's
third choice, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that is a big disappointing because I feel like he had a lot more to offer us long term than Willian does, and he doesn't seem to want to just, grab the grab the reins and take a hold of his destiny right now. And he's younger than Willian, so Willian's won a lot already. So the fact that he's as bad as he is just, I think that's more of an Arsenal thing than anything. We pick up a player who we want to get something out of him and he can't do it for us. When is that? You look at the difference between him and Louise. At least I feel like we're getting a lot out of Louise more than we are Willian. And Willian is the one that came in, I think, at least for me, more to gain and more for, it was going to be really helpful for us based on where we were last year. But Pepe, I feel, is the biggest disappointment because, a lot's been put on his chest and it had nothing to do with him at all. He's not making $70 million, but that's kind of where it starts, and he hasn't been able to live up to any kind of the results just aren't there, and he doesn't seem and that's the problem. He doesn't even seem to care as much as I would think he would. So that's another. I'm just like watching a player. It's like wake up, Pepe. You're playing football.
Yeah.
That's.
I want to see him capture some desire, some enthusiasm, some energy, some need to show the manager what he's all about. But I can't justify him having a run in the team either. I would like to have him have a run in the team, but the team's performing now. The team's going to move forward, and we'll spend a few minutes talking about that.
Well, yeah. Also, think about it when he went to the Europa League and played, and like we saw there was how his performance was there, and we're not even seeing anything close to that type of player. No. And it's like, so what? You come in for 30 minutes, you go for 110% and give us something. We're not even getting that. So whatever Arteta is saying, it's not sticking. He's not getting it.
Yeah. Look, listen. There's two flows in our podcast. There's all the mad stuff that goes on in the comments section, and it's great stuff, and it has been mad tonight. And there's the stuff that we're talking about now. I'll try to marry the two of these together and bring everyone who comes on and puts their comments down. They get an opportunity to have their comments met and shown. There's unique times when the two things come together, and we can actually talk about a topic that somebody brings up here. So let's tackle a question here. The assembled. I'll start with Tony. What's your thoughts on Arteta, truthfully, tactically, and management of the players?
I still think he's growing. I'm kind of disappointed in the substitutions, but he finally seems to stop being stubborn and finally going with the youth. I think it took him too long. I think if he played Smith Rowe 4 or 5 games earlier, we'd probably have 6 to 9 more points. We'd be a lot closer to the Champions League spot.
I actually thought you'd be a little bit harder on Arteta. You start off with the soft tone there, I like that. Tony. You're softening up in your old age.
I still passed out on the train.
Listen, I think Arteta has been perfect for it's been over a year now he's been in charge. He's not been perfect. He's made mistakes. He's made examples of certain players. Boo, right? Made example of certain players, and then he sort of changed everything at the start of the new season when everyone got a clean slate.
Except for
the people who've been slighted, they didn't get a clean slate. So there's inconsistencies there. He has certain players that I feel he plays favorites to. Tactically, I think he's getting a little bit better as well. It still worries me when Granit Xhaka moves into that left back position to cover Tierney, but we need that outlet. We need Tierney foraging forward, and I think the management of the players. I think he's not a very, very good man manager, but I think he's getting a little bit better as he goes along in it. And he was in danger 4 weeks ago. He's in danger of losing his job. Really, if we kept losing games. But we've picked up 13 points out of 15. Nothing too spectacular, but we're winning the games that we need to win. So I think Arteta has turned the corner a little bit. We're going to talk about Southampton pretty soon, and we're going to talk but we've got bigger challenges coming forward as well. Darren, Arteta, tactically and management of the players.
I think he's a lot better now that he can see what the youth can do, what potential they bring to the games and that. And I think he could have done that in the early stages when we saw the youth sort of coming up. But I think now he'll trust more on the youth. So I think he's a lot better and he trusts them a lot more. So I'm impressed with that. But I think he should have done it sooner, bring him on sooner. But yeah.
Yeah, you should have done it sooner. We would have picked up more points, like Tony said. And listen, really appreciate the comments here, giving us props for a great show tonight. We got a little bit more. We're going to squeeze a few more minutes out of there, and I'm talking as fast as I can to get through stuff. Sam, take on that question from the assembled.
Yeah, I think the guys have already made some key points there. Not really going to go over all that again, but yeah, I mean, yeah, he's made some changes to the tactics and the lineup that especially the lineup that was needed. He was backed up to a wall basically and forced to make some changes because of the COVID thing and suspensions, and that's when we finally got to see some of the youngsters that we were crying out for, and he saw that they worked, and they did work, thankfully. Turned a corner for us, and instead of going back to, well, that's what we hope what it's looked like, instead of going back to his old regulars that didn't work, he's let them continue, and that I think is a wise decision. So I've got to give Arteta props for being adaptable and showing that he can actually adapt to a situation, which a lot of managers can't. They like to stick to their principles and think that everything has to fit into their principles, and they're the managers who normally fail. So I've got to give Arteta props for that. I still think he's got a long way to go. I think man management is actually one of his issues, because we do see there is a difference in treatment, and things that he says, are going to happen, don't happen. There's still some weird substitutions and weird choices for positions, and there's some weird stuff tactically as well. But overall, I think if we look at everything overall in one big picture, I do think we're moving in the right direction. I think we're moving slowly in the right direction, and the summer is going to be key, because now we see a few players have gone already. I think we'll see a few more go, and then the summer is going to be a key transfer window. We're going to hopefully see then some players that Arteta wants, and then we have to start expecting more from the team and from Arteta, because then he's getting his players in. So so far I think we're moving slightly in the direction. We have had a lot of problems. It's been a terrible season really so far, but I think the second half is going to be a better half of the season. I think we're going to see more positives now this half of the season. That's what I think, and I hope.
Yeah, definitely. What was I going to say? Stan said, if you like and share, the circle will get bigger. That's a big point. Everyone take the link from this and just share it on your feeds. It would really help as well. Hit the like button. Really great to see comments in here, and things like Sam, you're in Norway right now. It's like almost 4:00 in the morning there, right?
It's 4:26. Yeah.
It's great to have people at normal hours watching. It's great also to have people late in the morning, early in the morning. Stan, that was good though. Sorry, that's the best come up with. I'm on the beer. Patrick O'Donovan, I'm not forgetting about you, Gary. Patrick O'Donovan, thanks for watching. 3:25 in the morning, top show. So it's really great. I know it's a crazy hour to do it, and come and see us on Sundays as well. We'll probably go at about 6 p.m. UK Sunday. Gary, you get your say.
All right. Yeah. Before I get there, I did see a lot of comments with my name on it, so thank you for anyone who mentioned me in the chat room.
Super moderator.
Yeah. So I did see that. Yeah. So thank you.
Super D.
Yeah. So is Arteta. I'm not 100% sure he's doing what he's planning to do. I do believe that the four at the back was something that he wanted to do from the get go. Just didn't seem to have the right makeup for it. So that's probably one thing I do think he was holding out on in terms of just did not have the pieces that he needed there. As far as the other moves that were made, I feel like he may have been forced to. I kind of feel like I would like to feel like he's planning a lot of this, and it's not just it's lucky. He's getting lucky when it does work out. So that's kind of my thinking there. I mean, the fact is, it's it's just over a year of him being a manager in general. So who knows what his plan is, what his process is. He's probably still figuring it out, and we are still trying to figure out what it is as well. But he's got a good set of players that I think have helped him and made it a lot easier for him. Right, most of the time with just their play, their desire, their energy, their effort. So those players get the game time. I think will be okay. I think he's going to the trick now will be is how does he manage those players when he can't play them all the time because we've got two big Premier League games in the middle of a Europa League game or a FA Cup game. How is he going to manage them and get something out of all three of the games because we really can't slip up anywhere right now. We need all those. We need to be able to have 3 opportunities to win something, either a top spot or a cup, right? Because they come with extra incentives. So which the team wants. So
how would you prioritize the cup game against Southampton or the league game against Southampton on Tuesday?
Well, I have a feeling that they are probably more going to be set up for the Premier League game, I think, because of where they are on the table right now, what they've seen, the success that they've had. So I have a feeling that they may, will we see Ward-Prowse and Ings? I don't know if Ings is healthy. I keep thinking he's been in and out of the games this year, but Ward-Prowse is the one guy that scares me because he can score pretty much, from the spot. He puts the ball down.
Anywhere from 30 yards out.
Yeah, so we've been good on the set pieces, so maybe we have the answer for that now.
Another thing, we've gone an hour and 44 minutes now, Sam, and we haven't gassed up we talked about our defense, but we haven't gassed them up combined. 5 clean sheets in the league for the first time in 11 years, Sam.
We'll talk about Leno, yeah. Leno's done a good job lately. You can see lately he's been in form. He's been making some good saves, some key saves. He's a very good goalkeeper. He's a very, very good goalkeeper.
That's a sign of a really good goalkeeper. Key saves, like you say, Sam, at key times. And he might have not had a lot of work, but the great goalkeepers are able to make the saves when it comes to them.
Exactly, and he's done a really good job with that. And he's a very good goalkeeper. He's a top-level goalkeeper. Unfortunately, he's not one of the best. But listen, you can't have one of the best. We've got a very good goalkeeper.
He's probably in the top 6 goalkeepers in the league.
Yeah, I'll definitely put him in the top 6. Definitely. His only weakness is the ball with his feet. He's not quite good distribution-wise with his feet. But apart from that, he's a solid goalkeeper. Maybe he could do a little bit better in his area as well. But I've seen lately he's been pretty solid in his area as well. So, overall, you can't knock what he's been doing the last 5-6 games.
I've got to say, since Arteta took over, I thought playing out from the back would be a risky business. We have not really gotten caught out with a really, really bad gaff.
I think we've been doing a lot better. I think the players, are finally getting used to it. It takes a while to get used to that type of play, and I think you can see now the players are used to playing that way, and it works better.
Stephen Denham, thanks for the comments. How can you be an Arsenal fan and not watch the channel but follow that other guff and madness that's going on? So there's a lot of bluster out there. If you want to find crazy bluster, ranting type of stuff, then we're maybe not your speed. That's not to say we won't rant a little bit when it's a really bad defeat, but I like to think that all of us here on the channel, with 5 people here, Anthony, Stan, and Alonso. You know, um, we all sort of give you what we feel, and Mahir as well. He gives you what he feels at the time. It's sort of uncensored with Mahir as well. But outside of Darren, Mahir is probably one of the younger ones. You know what I mean? So you're going to get that from the younger ones, and us elder statesmen will give you a more considered opinion about Arsenal. But Tony, cup game or league game or next game, which do you favor?
Probably a cup game.
So you want to prioritize this Southampton game, right? But we have to understand that if we're looking at the Newcastle game as a basis, we rotated heavily in the Newcastle game. We struggled for most of that game. Emile Smith-Rowe came on, and a couple of the younger players, I think Saka came on, and we were able to get through that tie. I think it's going to be more of the same on Saturday. What do you think?
I think he'll field a stronger team than he did then. I think Lacazette or Smith-Rowe were going to start. They both came on as subs in the other game and changed the game when they both came on. I think one of them two needs to start.
Darren, it's really it's a tough place to go to, St. Mary's.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
They're going to make it. They're not going to make it easy for us, right?
No, definitely not. I think it's going to be. As I said, I think as long as we keep our young players up, sort of fit and healthy, I think we'll be fine. I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So listen, we're not going to dive into the FA Cup really deeply, Sam. The thing about success and young players, we talked about the Hale End boys and all of the good players we have, Emile Smith-Rowe, Saka. And in order to keep these players and the team together, we need to all improve. The whole team needs to improve together, right? We need to up the quality of the team. We talk about we have a solid 11 we can put on the field, maybe 14, but we need to improve the depth, and we need to start winning things to keep these players at Arsenal. Otherwise, these players are going to improve, the team's not going to improve, and they're going to become diamonds that other teams are going to come and get. So we really need to look after our future here, Sam.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, it's these players have come through together. I think, like I said, those are the players who are starting now as regulars. They're becoming an important part of the team, which is great to see. Their value has increased greatly. I think you could get quite a lot of money now for Saka if you had to sell him. I think you could get a lot of money for ESR as well now if you had to sell him, Smith-Rowe. So it's great to see. For me personally, I'd like to see them prioritise the cup out of these two games, because the cup is another trophy, right? It's another way of winning a trophy. That's what we want to do.
I was thinking about this. I was thinking about this on the drive home, my commute home, Sam, and I was thinking, when we were growing up as kids, all we cared about was trophies, right?
Exactly.
Every Arsenal fan grew up thinking about, okay, the FA Cup was a bigger occasion when we were younger, but
it was a lot bigger, yeah. It was a lot bigger.
Trophies, though, Sam.
Exactly, trophies is it. Trophies is how you measure success in football, right? I mean, ultimate success. I mean, it's not just down to what players you have or how much money you got in the bank or whatever. It's trophies. It's the teams that win the big trophies, and the most trophies are the biggest clubs and the most respected clubs. And the FA Cup is the cup we've won the most out of anyone. It's like you say, it hasn't really. I mean, it's not really as big as it used to be. Unfortunately, I think it's very sad, because the FA Cup is probably the most prestigious, famous football cup in the world. I mean, in terms of domestic competition, you think about it. In July, the early qualification games start for all the tiny regional teams.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to January, the third round. I mean, it's been going since July. I mean, and then you start to get the teams that have managed to get through to the third round. You know, when the big teams start, it's just such a fantastic competition. You know, we used to have replays, and you can end up having a replay at some tiny little ground somewhere, and that the gate receipts then are gonna it's gonna save the club's entire year financially. I mean, it's a fantastic thing, Yeah. And to start taking it lightly is just not right. It's a trophy. We won it last year. We won it last season. I want to defend it this season. I want to win it again this season. And you look at our league position. We don't have to worry about the league right now. Yes, of course, the league is important, but for me right now, the cup is more important than the league. I mean, we're not going to get into we're not going to get into the Champions League. Sorry, I'm going to have to burst your bubble. So the cup. Let's just go for the cup.
Yeah, trophies are what it's all about, and I want to keep concentrating on you, Sam. But Stan, try and throw me off here. Stan, you're a very, very bad man.
You can get him in trouble with Tony.
For Ray's long outro. It's already started, Stan. We're 15 minutes into it. So, no, you're dead right, Sam. I always think, why should we prioritize one competition over the other? We should try to win both the cup game against Southampton and the league game. Take it one game at a time. Don't try to save your team for Tuesday when you can win the game on Saturday in the cup. And you get kind of a small psychological advantage if you do win that cup game. And I want to progress in the cup. It is only 5 or 6 games. People think it's this terrible thing that's going to derail your season if you concentrate on it too much. It can be a nice distraction as well. It can be a nice distraction.
Is there much to? There's not really much to concentrate on, right? I mean, if we're
90 minutes at a time, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're one, we have to play it, and 2, why not try to win it, right? And are we going to drop enough if we struggle on the weekends? Probably. I don't think we will that much. I mean, and we will. Those players will still come on if they don't start. The players that we've been leaning on so far. So
we're going to have a strong bench, Gary. We might not have a strong team going out there, but we'll have a strong bench. And a strong bench now is Emile Smith-Rowe. We wouldn't have said that 2 months ago. And I'm thankful Mikel Arteta, whether he stumbled across it or he figured it out one night, Tony. He's got Emile Smith-Rowe in the side now, and he can't go back.
Yeah, it took him long enough. I don't know why he was as stubborn and hard-headed as he was. Hopefully,
maybe he's just like you. Maybe.
I mean, also you got to think maybe he wasn't ready. I mean, that's the thing I'm not sure about. Maybe he wasn't ready. I mean,
and to the Assemble's point down there, Gary, I don't believe there's anyone who's learning a job for $6 million a year. I think everyone learns every day, right?
No, that's not true. I don't believe that. I mean, he got paid a lot. Well, Arsenal's made some stupid deals, so who's to say that wasn't a stupid deal if they're talking about Arteta? I mean, as far as the money, if they're talking about how much you spend on him, right? Okay. Yeah, if it's Arsenal, then you expect it to be a premium if you go there. But if you don't have the experience, why you don't command that same money that somebody else would expect? I mean, are they paying more for somebody else? Like, if any other manager came, would they be getting more than that? Probably, but they've got experience, so they can back it up. I mean, I feel like, I mean, they brought him in, but I think they also brought him in, and similar to the way the team is constructed, there's a lot of holes. I mean, there's a lot of holes on Arteta's coaching tree and the management around him. So that's what we've seen.
All right. I want to vote. Thanks, Gary. I want to vote right now. Do people like my long outros, or do they hate them? You like them?
Yes.
All right. I think it's probably the only channel that does as long outros as I do, right?
Yeah, you still got 45 more seconds. 45 more seconds.
Okay, let's do our final thoughts. Tony, final thoughts.
My final thoughts is you pausing the show for asking Stephen what wanted you to ask me. That was one of the best parts of the show. You're
Yeah,
like, wow,
we had
I
a
ask?
little bit of banter tonight, didn't we, Tony?
Yeah.
Stan, thank you. It wouldn't be the same without my long outros. I keep explaining that I'm Irish. It's very difficult. We're very social. We're very social beings. Darren, final thoughts.
Just keep going with the young players, keep pushing it, and just keep winning more games. Really.
I love that. Keep going with the young players. Keep pushing it, and keep it going. And Darren, thanks for joining us tonight. Really appreciate having you on. Good stuff. Hey, one other thing, Darren. We're gonna plug a few people here. You did a pod with Lee Dixon.
I did. Yep.
How did it go?
It was good. It was very exciting. It was a good
Can you give
experience.
us a little preview? Anything that was said before you drop it?
No, nothing was said. It was all FIFA related, all sort of about his career and stuff. And then obviously next week I start the podcast with him, which is like for a few months, and then see how we get on. So
When is the video out now with Lee Dixon, or are you dropping it
not
soon?
because it'll probably be on tomorrow because it's quite a big file, so it's take a while for it to process in a minute. So
All right, well worth the wait. So people check out Lee Dixon and Darren.
Cool.
Good job.
Something that's going to be ongoing on this channel, so check it out. Thanks, Darren. Sam, always a big thank you because you are burning the midnight oil. I know, Darren. It's pretty late there, Darren too, as well. But Sam, you're an hour further into it.
Yeah, I mean, it coincides with the work I have to do. A lot of late evenings now, so it's not such a big achievement as you might think. But yeah, thanks a lot for having me. It's always great to be here with you guys. It's always a good chat here. We always have some interesting topics of discussion. For my final thoughts, I thought Darren summed up very nicely. You know, let's keep with the youth. Keep using the lineup that works, and let's keep pushing, keep winning points. I mean, it's the more points we get, the higher up the table we get. We might be able to push right up there towards a 5th position. It'd be great. Let's keep going. Let's see how far we can go.
Definitely. I didn't know what to title the podcast, but pretty much momentum. That's what we need to do. Keep the momentum going. We're unbeaten in 2021. Let's keep it going. Let's get to that FA Cup game and beat Southampton.
Stan, joke.
Yeah, I was gonna say on Tony's comment there. That's Tony is showing that Pepe, you can do it with just one leg. You can carry the show with just one leg.
Tony's doing a much better job with one leg than what Pepe is. That's for sure.
So basically, this is some incentive to Pepe. Look, watch our show. See Tony do it with one leg. Come on.
Exactly. Don't worry about Count Sam. As long as he's back at the castle with stand up, he's golden.
I want to suck your blood.
Yeah.
Gary, did you get your final say?
Yeah, I guess similar to Darren, I want to see the youngsters, but also what I want, this is hopefully this is a wake up call for one of the 4 or 5 players that we want to see something from them. Maybe they will come and show us what they got because we need it. We need it to make things easy for everyone. But I think they need it as well, or else they're gone. So, take a look at your teammates and take a lesson from them.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. This long outro will continue for another minute or so. Tony, without you, they'd be lost. Everyone knows Davy Crockett is the main man, and he's the only one that's allowed to be late. To the podcast, apparently.
Marijuana cards are important, right?
You know what? Yeah, you said it right there. There's no comeback to that. Yep, you are correct, sir.
Want to shout out Russ Morgan as well. Check him out. He's got a YouTube channel, and check out Gary's stuff as well at DWTT on YouTube. Check that out as well. He puts together some good takes on the game, and yeah, listen, that has been Arsenal fan sucker for Thursday night. Really, really appreciate everyone in the comments saying really, really nice things about the show. Checks are in the mail, and we'll see you all on Sunday. We're going to go a little bit earlier on Sunday. We haven't talked about it, but I just made the decision.
If
1
I tell us
o'clock
like
Eastern.
5 minutes before you get on, we're going.
Hey, hopefully we're talking about an FA Cup win, right, boys?
Hopefully,
Definitely, yes.
Yep.
could be.
Listen, this show wouldn't be the same without the 4 or 5 other people on here with me, and people in the comments who are trying to throw me off track, like this guy. But you know, it is a superhero chat, so we'll put him up. Okay, long outro, about to end. Thanks for watching. Slap the like on the when you're on the way out if you haven't already. Really appreciate the support.
I got your record about a 25-minute outro.
Come on, you Gooners, up the Arsenal. Let's
Sorry,
get
Gunners.
into the fourth round. Is it 6 rounds? I don't know. Let's win the next round. We're out of here. See you Sunday.